Hi boys and girls, today we are going to be starting Mitt the Michigan Mouse by Kathy Jo Wargen. And this is the one you guys voted on and picked, so here we go. Mitt the Michigan Mouse, Chapter 1, The Mitten. The mitten was the only home the mouse had ever known. It was made of thick red wool and hidden in a fallen white spruce tree deep in the woods of northern Michigan. The spruce had toppled in a storm years before, and time had worn it hollow. The mitten was tucked inside where it stayed dry when the forest was soaked with summer rain. It kept Mitt warm and cozy when winter winds came howling through the tall pine trees, shaking down cones and needles on snowy nights. And although the mitten was small, it was just the right size for a white-footed mouse named Mitt. Just want to show you the picture of it. Here's the mitten inside a hollowed out log. His nest inside the mitten was made from red-breasted nuthatch feathers, and his pillow was a velvety white pussy willow bud. His blanket was an old piece of handkerchief found near the riverbed, and Mitt liked the yellow daisies sewn around its edge. Mitt lived alone with no mother or father or sisters or brothers. He had them at one time, but now had only memories. The memories he had, though small and distant, were pleasant ones. He remembered that when he was born, he had no fur and he couldn't see, and so his mother kept him warm and fed. And every night she would gently rock him in the moon-shaped milkweed pod that was his cradle. Sometimes when Mitt was almost asleep and his mind went drifting, he could hear his mother singing to him. And though he saw nothing more than a shadow of her face in his dreams, he could still feel her huddling in with him and his brothers and sisters. From this he remembered that her kisses were soft and warm, and her breath was sweeter than apple spice pie. It always bothered Mitt that he never knew what happened to his mother and father and brothers and sisters. As it is in most mice families, it just happened to be that one morning he woke up alone and on his own. Chapter 2, The Party. Mitt rose to the noisy chatter of red squirrels and the sharp cawing sound of common crows. Most everyone in the forest was getting ready for Inger's birthday party, and Mitt was happy to be invited. Inger, a sweet porcupine pup, was now 4 months old and nearly ready to go out on her own. Mitt worked neatly to wrap a stack of sugar maple seeds he collected from the forest floor. It was a lovely autumn morning, and he had found many seeds. He made the pile by carefully placing one seed on top of the other until he could tie a bow around them out of a long piece of field grass. Inger was fond of sugar maple seeds, and Mitt was fond of Inger. Mitt left the red wool mitten and hurried along the runways he and other forest mice had made. Their paths crisscrossed through the woods, passing under logs and over mossy clumps. They burrowed into hidden tunnels beneath open grassy spots and went under the earth where the soil was sandy and light. And he raced along. It did not take him long before he was at the shallow end of the stream. Mitt knew the stream well, and across it was the falling down cabin where Inger and her family lived. Mitt stepped inside to say hello to Inger in the quiet way that a mouse should do. But before he had a chance to do so, crash! Mitt was slammed from behind so hard he went topsy-turvy into a nearby pile of wood chips. When he fell, his lovely gift of seeds went scattering all across the floor. It was Berg. Berg had pushed Mitt out of the way and stepped up to Inger, handing her a small silver coin, much to Inger's delight. Berg, a bushy-tailed wood rat from Sheboygan, collected shiny things and was trying very hard to impress Inger with his gift. But Mitt was not impressed. Berg was always pushing and shoving or boasting about his treasures. Now Mitt had no gift for Inger. The guests arrive in many woodland ways. A family of minks slipped through the window, cheeping about their journey from the riverbank, while 3 eastern chipmunks scampered through the doorway, chirping on about a red fox that had been chasing them. There was an opossum with 5 kits on her back, 3 long-tailed weasels, and a family of common raccoons. When nearly all had arrived, Inger's mother told each guest to have a seat at the table and put on their party hats. Mitt liked party hats, and his was made from an old empty acorn shell. The raccoon, Grimma, was given a hat made from an empty bird nest, and the mink family wore hats from broken robin's eggs. But Berg, the bushy-tailed wood rat, would not wear his hat because it was made from an old ice cream cone, and he thought it was much too important to wear something so silly. As the animals exchanged stories in the way that animals do, the porcupines brought out the food. What a wonderful feast it would be. Mitt watched as the table was filled with trumpet mushrooms, fairy butter, brownie caps, and stinkhorns. There were black cherry pits for nibbling and cattail tops for chewing, and even an empty forest snail shell filled with dew for sipping. Mitt enjoyed the treats very much. He laughed and smiled and played jumping games with his friends. But back at home, things were about to change. Just wanted to show you the picture of what the party looks like, because there's such amazingly drawn pictures here. All right, that is the end of chapter 2.